Okay, I'd like to be clear that this is all obviously just my opinion. Other people feel differently, and that's fine. I just want to share my thoughts. Let's start off by saying that the reboot is basically horrible, for a lot of reasons. I'm going to go through these reasons by comparing the reboot to the original Star Trek series. Gene Roddenberry created Star Trek with the obvious intention of progressivism. The original cast was purposely made to be diverse, especially for the time period. It was the 60s, and the cast of characters included a black woman, a Japanese man, a Russian man, a Scottish man, a bi-species alien that was meant to be an outcast, plus a powerful medical team that had both a black man and a woman as working members. This was incredible and revolutionary for that time period. The reboot had the opportunity to make a cast that was revolutionary for this time period, but it didn't. Instead, it just cut out a lot of the aforementioned characters. Christine Chapel, Janice Rand, Im Vanga, they weren't even mentioned. Plus, casting Benedict Cumberbatch in a Mexican role really whitewashed the cast even more. Less diversity 50 years later? Really? Speaking of those strong female characters that were cut, let's talk about the ones that weren't cut, and how the majority of them have, for no apparent reason, showed up in their underwear. You know which ones haven't? Spock's mom and Kirk's mom. And Amanda was killed off, and Winona showed up, gave birth, and then disappeared. Awesome. Of the characters that weren't cut, arguably the most important is Uhura. Nichelle Nichols in the 60s played a revolutionary role in history. She played a strong role as a black woman in a position where really they weren't shown. Martin Luther King Jr. told her himself how important her role was and how important it was that she keep her position on that TV show, if that tells you anything. I'm sorry, but Reboot Uhura is nothing compared to Nichelle Nichols. Abrams could have made Uhura such a strong character and give her so many important roles, but it seems like the main focus of Uhura is revolved around Spock. Has everyone heard of the Bechdel test? It's a test for film and TV that basically sets the bare minimum standards for equality. Just because something passes it doesn't mean it's feminist friendly. However, everything should pass it. The requirements for this test is that it have 2 female characters who talk to each other about something that isn't a man. Pretty simple, right? 6 episodes of the original Star Trek series pass the Bechdel test. One of the original movies passes, The Wrath of Khan. Total, the original passed more than the reboot. Of the 2 reboot movies, only one of them passed. And let's be real here, in the scene that passed it, both women are stripped down to their underwear. There's no reason the reboot should not have passed this test. If a movie from the 80s and a series from the 60s can pass it, it is not that hard. Was the original series perfect in this sense? No, it should have passed more often. But don't you think standards should have risen since then? Instead, it seems like there are less women, and the ones that are here are belittled in little ways. Showing them in their underwear, revolving their storylines around men, and even cutting off their sleeves so that their rank doesn't show. It all seems odd. Space. The final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Its 5-year mission to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before. The reboot threw everything that Star Trek was about away. J.J. Abrams even claims that he didn't like Star Trek when he was growing up. The meaningful and progressive science fiction franchise was replaced with an action film series. There is no exploration, there is no boldly going anywhere. It's just fighting. It's just wars in space. Wars amongst the stars. One might even say, Star Wars. The whole point of Star Trek was to see a glimpse into the future where peace and diversity can coexist. It was important in every way possible. It broke down barriers. Hello, first interracial kiss on TV, anyone? It was riddled with hope for a brighter future. And the core of the show was in that simple dialogue that's in the credits. Destroying the message that Star Trek conveyed changes everything. If Star Trek isn't focused on a brighter future where everyone can live together in harmony, then what's the point? Why even bring it back?